Go ahead and get started with our first student athlete today. It's going to be freshman defensive end Jared Ivey. We'll go ahead and open it right up for questions for Jared. If you could, please use the raise hand function within Zoom if you have a question for Jared. We'll call on people individually, beginning with Rod McKenzie from 247 Sports.
Hey, Jared, you're starting to get more reps now. Where do you think you've improved the most, and how has the process been for you?
Process has been really good. I'm glad to be coached by Coach Coleman, Marco Coleman, because he really knows what he's talking about. And I think that, with our work, he's improved me the most with my hands and my get off and just playing more physical altogether. So that's just something I've been focusing on, and I feel like I'm doing better with that.
Next question comes from Kelly Quinlan from Rivals.
Hey, Jared. I was just curious kind of how the adjustment's been to the level of competition and playing bigger guys and that sort of thing, and kind of how your clock is in terms of dealing with that too.
Yeah, the adjustment was crazy when I first got up here. The speed, the strength was way different, but, we just kept coming to work every single day, and it just got better and better every day, and it's not really something I worry about anymore. I just kind of just go out and try to play to my best ability every day.
Question from Ken Segura from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution.
Hey, Jared, to kind of follow along that, you've had, a month now almost to be practicing, and I'm curious how much different, or do you kind of look at these last four games as, I'm really more prepared to show what I can do, as you go into this Duke game?
I just try to stay ready every week. It's not really a certainty how much the reps are going to be. I just kind of go with whatever happens. I'm just cheering on the guys that are in and just ready to play whenever get my number called. So, coaches always say, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. So that's just kind of something I focus on.
Next question comes from Rod McKenzie.
Hey, Jared, you're going to face a Duke team that's really good at running the ball. They like to get on the perimeter. What is your role going to be in stopping that?
Just staying in my gap, doing my job, and not putting any stress on the other parts of the defense.
Another question from Kelly Quinlan.
Jared, I was just curious, what's maybe a couple things that you've improved upon as the season's gone along, and you've gotten the live game reps and gotten an opportunity to kind of maybe figure out maybe some things you have to work on or refine your technique during the season?
Definitely using my hands. I've gotten better with it, but that's one of the major pieces that's kind of very different from high school to college, is just being able to use your hands and get extension. So that's something I continue to work on every single day.
Another question from Ken Segura from the AJC.
If you could describe a little more about what are you trying to do with your hands, and maybe what weren't you doing before?
So basically just when you come off, you gotta shoot your hands, right? And then it's a lot about hand placement. So playing the 5 technique, you're gonna want to have one hand on the chest, one hand on the shoulder, and then just getting extension, staying low, and then being in your gap. So just in high school, it was kind of just line up, play, just come off the ball, be fast, whatever. But now you just got to be more technical with your work, and hand placement and just being in the right spot, footwork is all really important now.
Another question from Kelly Quinlan.
What's just the overall experience been like? This hasn't been a normal, freshman experience for you with all the COVID stuff and everything. Just kind of what has your college experience been like up to this point?
It's been a whole lot of just chilling, not really doing much, following protocols and stuff, wearing my mask everywhere. So, as far as football goes, I've had a good time, but I haven't really gone outside of campus, been around the city or anything much like that. So I'm excited to see what it's going to be like when all this stuff's over. But as of now, just staying safe.
Another question from Ken Segura.
Hey, Jared, Coach Thacker yesterday was talking about, the importance of overlapping. And I'm curious, kind of from your perspective, when you're trying to do that, what would you say are your aims, or what does that look like in your job?
What do you mean by overlapping?
I think you're saying the linebackers kind of fill in gaps and making sure that everything is there's a wall. I guess there's no creases for defenses to run or offense.
Oh, okay. I know, like run fits. Yeah. So just staying in your gap, staying low. That's really it. Just staying in your gap, being stout, holding down, and just playing physical, so that it's clean and the linebackers can get over easy without getting blocked.
Another question from Rod McKenzie.
This is naturally your first college season. Conditioning wise, how are you holding up with the effects of the long season?
Pretty good. Coach Lou does a great job in the weight room, so I've gotten way stronger, gotten more endurance. We run, we lift all the time. So, yeah, I put on about 40 pounds, and I feel good.
Time for a couple more for Jared. We'll start with another one from Ken Segura.
Hey, Jared, you've obviously never been through a college season before, but do you have any thoughts about, and this is normally the week you guys will be playing Georgia. I'm curious if you have any thoughts about, not having that game on the schedule this year.
Yeah, it sucks because that was one of the big reasons to come here, get that crosstown rivalry, because I grew up around a lot of Georgia fans. So, but it is what it is. We'll be ready in the next few years to get them.
And last one for Jared comes from Kelly Quinlan.
You guys have had almost a month off by the time you play Saturday. Kind of what have you used that time for in terms of getting ready? I know you guys thought you were going to be playing some games in between, so you were in game prep for some of that. But just kind of what has that bye been like for you guys?
Yeah, just working on technique day in and day out, and just running, getting extra work, coming in by ourselves, like the DN group, just coming in, getting extra work, staying conditioned, staying healthy, stretching, stuff like that, just to stay ready so we don't have to get ready, Whenever we get to play, we're going to be ready, and that's this week, so can't wait for it.
Jared, thank you very much. We'll wrap up with Jared. We'll bring up our two other student athletes. We've got wide receiver Jalen Camp, offensive lineman Jack DeFoor to round out our student athletes today. So, Jared, thanks a ton. Appreciate you, bud. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Senior wide receiver Jalen Camp. We'll open it right up for questions for Jalen, starting with one from Rod McKenzie from 247 Sports.
Hey, Jalen, as one of the leaders on the team, what role have you played over the past month, when you haven't been able to play a game of, keeping your teammates engaged?
Yes, sir. I think, the coaches, I'll start by saying, the coaches have done a great job of keeping us focused going into these past 3 weeks of no game. Locked in on what we can get better at. We kind of treated it as the glass is half full. We got 3 bye weeks to get better before we play again. And I think we've done a good job of, the leaders on the team have also, relayed coach's message, keeping each position group focused on getting better.
Next question comes from Kelly Quinlan from Rivals.
Hey, Jalen. I imagine as a senior, it's been tough to have a break like this in the middle of the season. I know you guys still have all your games scheduled, luckily, but I imagine it's a little bit tense for you as a senior. You only have X number of games. You probably haven't made a decision on what you want to do next year or not. And so has it been a little bit emotional just kind of riding this out?
I believe for every football player it's kind of tough because this is, this year, like it's, unlike any year that we've had. So we knew going in that it was uncertainty. We were just all happy that, we had the protocols and we were able to play. I was talking with my dad and we were just happy, we've got this far without a stoppage. But now that we have that stoppage, but, still have those 4 games, on our schedule, we're still locked in and, we're still high. Looking forward to those 4 games and trying to make the most of them.
Next question is from Ken Segura from the AJC.
Can you describe your reaction, the 2 times when you found out you weren't going to be able to play?
Yes, sir. I mean, I think, me, myself, and the rest of the team, we were all disappointed. That's just the football player and the competitor in all of us. But immediately we had a little leadership call with Coach and, get all the leaders on there and make sure our mind were in the right spot. You know what I'm saying? Just making sure that, we were all using this as a, like I mentioned earlier, glass half full, and we could use this to benefit us. So the next time that we have a chance to play, they'll see, a big difference.
Another question from Rod McKenzie from 247 Sports.
Hey, Jalen, what is the chemistry like now with you and Jeff compared to what it was, at the beginning of the season?
I think me and Jeff has came a long way. I believe the same thing for all the receivers and the tight ends and the running backs. I think Jeff has made great strides. He seems more relaxed. These past 3 weeks, that we've had off, we've came in early, stayed after late. The receivers and Jeff just kind of working on our timing, just so we're not leaving any stone unturned. So these next 4 games we can, look polished and smooth out there on the field.
Another question from Kelly Quinlan.
In terms of, you have this last third of the season right now, kind of what are the team goals going forward here to try to maximize and kind of build some momentum going into the end of the season?
I think we're going to use these last 4 as, just trying to make the most out of these last 4. Going into the bye week, Coach Collins, had us all focused in on these last 4 games and making a run and going undefeated in these last 4. That's everybody's mindset. Nobody's going into these last 4, just like we'll just try our best and just hope that we're going into these last 4, focused on winning these games, and we believe we can do that.
Another question from Ken Segura.
Hey, John. I was wondering, you mentioned before about kind of making the best of things, but how do you view, like even going back to last year of getting hurt, not being able to finish what you thought was your senior year, and then coming back, and you're obviously playing really well. You just kind of, how do you kind of think about that or look at that?
I honestly just look at it as a blessing. Getting hurt last season, missing those 8 games, not being able to help my team, and getting another chance to go out there and help my team. So these games that we've played so far this year, I've just gone out there and made the most of it, because I know that this opportunity that I have right now is not really given to everybody, and I just use it as a blessing and just go out there and make the most of every opportunity, every game, every play, every snap.
Do you feel like you're playing better this year than you were, in the first 4 games last year?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. Anything else for Jalen? Okay, we'll do one last one from Ken Segura.
How much thought have you given to what about, the possibility of coming back next year or moving on and trying pro football?
I think I've given it some good thought. I know I have a conversation with, Coach Collins and his staff, and, I'll sit down with my family and we'll just put all the chips on the table and, figure out the best decision.
Last but not least, offensive lineman senior Jack DeFoor. We'll go ahead and open it right up for questions for Jack. And the first one comes from Rod McKenzie from 247 Sports.
Hey, Jack. Yesterday,
Rod.
Coach Patno, how you doing?
Good.
Hey, Coach Patno talked about, Duke likes to just rush 4 guys, and it's going to be a matter of, winning those one-on-one battles. What kind of challenge will that be for you?
Yeah, we played these guys last year, and they have 2 really good defensive ends, and that are, have a lot of sacks this year. And they have a defensive tackle that's really solid, that's coming back. And, we saw it last year, and they did a good job. but we just have to, like he said, win the one-on-ones, and we'll take care of our assignments and get it done.
Next question comes from Kelly Quinlan from Rivals.
Jack, how have you guys used the break you've had? Has it helped maybe get you guys healed up? I know on the line it's a lot tougher physically as the season grinds along. Do you guys feel healthier right now?
Yeah, I think this has been one of the best things that happened, just because we get everybody back and the guys get rest and get their legs back under them. And like J.P. Mason was a guy that had an injury that he's come back from, and he's looking really good. So we're glad to have him at 100%. So I think it actually has helped a lot.
Okay. How would you evaluate just how the pass protection has gone this year?
We've had some off games, I think, and overall I think it's been pretty good. We're still developing, and I think we're scheming things up right. And Jeff I think he's going to look a lot more comfortable having this time off, and that we've learned a lot more and tried to look at some things and just really evaluate how it's been going. I think we'll do a pretty good job this week.
Another question from Kelly Quinlan from Rivals.
What have your thoughts been about maybe playing again next year, and have you had those discussions and kind of been thinking about that yet?
Yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot, and I'll just talk to the coaches about it, and I haven't decided anything yet, and I'll just talk to them and see how everything goes this year.
Another question from Ken Segura.
Jack, normally this week you'd be playing Georgia, and I'm curious what thoughts you have about them not being on the schedule.
Yeah, it sucks. I mean, that's a game we look forward to. I know the fans look forward to it, and I haven't really thought about them that much until you just brought it up, but that does suck that we don't get to play them, but we've really just been focused on Duke, honestly. But yeah, I mean, that was a game that we wanted to play, and it does suck.
Another question from Rod McKenzie.
Hey, Jack, you talked about, having Jordan back 100%, running the ball. How much does that add to the offense, having somebody that can really pound it inside? And does that get you guys on the offensive line fired up when you see him running over people?
Yeah, I love Jordan Mason, man. He plays with a level of toughness that I rarely have seen, and I love blocking for that guy. He is as tough as they come. He's a really smart player. He pass pro, he is awesome in pass pro too. So yeah, it's really good having him back at 100%. I think he'll help a lot.
Time for a couple more for Jack. We'll start with one from Kelly Quinlan, and then we'll wrap up with one from Ken Segura.
Jack, I'm just curious, kind of what are y'all's goals for the last third of the season here?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it, in our team meetings and stuff, and we have 4 games left, and we're trying to go 4-0, and that puts us at a winning record. And, we got to focus on one game at a time, but at the same time, we're trying to get those 4 and finish strong, because people will remember that if you can finish strong at the end.
The final question from Jack from Ken Segura.
Can you tell me a little bit about Ryan Johnson, just what he's like personally, and just kind of how much the nickname Hoss maybe fits or doesn't fit him?
Yeah, I think he is definitely a Nashville guy, man. He plays the guitar, can actually sing a little bit, he showed me, and wears his cowboy hat. He is definitely a Nashville guy, I can say that.
Awesome, thank you.
Awesome, Jack, thank you. Gentlemen, thank you guys. Have a great Thanksgiving. Look forward to seeing everybody on Saturday.